Evening all, playing some War Thunder. So what I was going to do today was talk around maybe just a bit of a general update on War Thunder. There's something probably a lot of people aren't too aware of, and I get a lot of people kind of saying, oh yeah, it looks kind of good, you know, I'm kind of interested in this game, but there's something that stops them from committing. So what I was going to sort of talk around today was, firstly let's talk about the fact that this game is now on Steam. It's a lot easier to kind of get and download. You don't need to buy the 18, I think it's an £18, maybe sort of $25 pack. You can just literally download it as a free-to-play game. I don't know if you necessarily need that. It is completely free to play, and I would say yes, you can pay to win, and in this game you can pay to win quite extravagantly, but it's not too, I don't think you'll come across too many people who are doing that, because I think the free-to-play model is quite compelling. So, and again, probably worth it just explaining, the game does work on levels. So as you start to level up, you start to get new planes, and you start to then fight different people. So don't worry if you pay to win, and you're kind of going to go straight into the difficult groups of people who know how to play the game before you do. So that's why I'd probably advise against it. But as we stand currently, I've stuck pretty much with the Brits, mainly because I just like Spitfires and so on. And I would say that's working out quite well, because currently I'm around level 9. So basically what that means is cannons are now the thing. As you saw just then, cannons are pretty deadly. And so if you get a good run at somebody with cannons, they're going to pretty much shred the plane. It's funny because in the first few levels, see there again, we just did the same again. In the first few levels up to maybe level 3, maybe level 4, the machine guns are exactly what you have. They're pretty much all you have, in fact. And there is a starter plane that you just have to get as much shots on as you can to basically kill stuff. In this level, so once you get to about 4, 5 plus, you start to get planes with cannons, and the problem then is that you don't actually want to just keep spraying your opponents. You actually have to, almost treat it like a railgun. Come and get a good aim on them, then just fire in very short bursts, because you only have a few hundred rounds per, per cannon. And plus, if you're playing arcade, that means you've got infinite, but then there is a reload time. But if you're playing arcade or a similar historical battle or something, then basically you are not going to have that luxury. So you don't want to run out of cannons too soon, because they are really good. Now the thing is, I mean, there again, look at that, that's cannons without, that's pretty much why you would use them, because they go straight through targets. So if you get a good shot on at the pilot, or if you get a good shot on at the engines, or the wing tips, you're basically going to rip that plane to pieces. So I would say cannons are, they're a game changer. Once you've got them, the whole game is very, very, very different. And as you can see, cannons were used against me there, and it pretty much just shredded my entire plane. It's a funny one. Now let's also talk about the fact that there are two types of plane. Well, there's more than two, but in essence they are bombers and fighters. Then you get the variants between them, so you get pure fighters like the Spitfire and so on. Then you get things that are sort of like this, which is a variant between the two, so you can actually upgrade this and put bombs upon it, and torpedoes and other such things. And this kind of, I guess they call a fighter bomber, so it's the mix between the two. A bit heavier, well, a lot heavier, but effectively quite a good plane to kind of cruise around it, because it's got cannons, it's got a bit more survivability, but again, with with sort of addition of cannons and particularly rockets, you're going to get blown to pieces very easily still. And then you have bombers. Now bombers, to me, I have a major issue with bombers, because I like bombers, I think they're cool. I've actually got 3 Wellington bombers on my general plane list, and every single one of them dies within seconds from being engaged, which is just a shame. I think they are going to maybe do something about that, but the beauty of bombers is that they do have multiple machine gun points, and when you get a lucky stint, so for example if you're using bombers under level 3, so with the Brits that's the Beaufort and the Blenheim, they are particularly good because there's no cannons at that kind of level, and you'll have probably the most fun bombing in those planes. Once you get to planes that are above level 4, and such as the Wellington, which in theory should be awesome, you start to have this problem of basically the big cannons knocking you out. So it's a it's a tricky one because obviously you have to try and find what makes fun for the game. I would say at the moment, if you do any arcade, it's just about fighters. I wouldn't even bother doing bombers if I was you, but that's just my opinion. I do bomb on arcade, but it's only with the knowledge that I'm going to die every time, and it can get a bit frustrating. Particularly with this sort of guy, you know, he's he's trying to get the best out of his plane, and it's just, you know, he's getting shredded by a cannon user, or in this case, I think this is just machine guns. But either way, he's basically just getting owned, and that's my issue with bombers at the moment. Now, it makes kind of sense because fighters would always have had bombers would always have a fighter escort, but hey. It's one of those things. But anyway, I think in terms of War Thunder as a game, it's certainly getting there. I know a lot of people are kind of interested in it, and again, it's a fascinating thing where because it's free to play, people dismiss it. They think that the game is cheapened by it being free to play, and I must stress that it's not the case. Free to play is just the new way of things. What it is eventually you will never pay for a game. That is the likelihood. You will actually, unless it's something like Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto 5, something of an extreme kind of interest. The reality is that free to play for most online games, particularly, is going to be the kind of way to go. So, you know, we'll see how that pans out, but I would say don't let it affect you. This is a fantastic game, and I would say well worthy of your time. We have an in-game channel called Tull, T-U-L, which you're welcome to come join if you want to come fly with us. I'm not playing this as much as I would like to. I think I'm still trying to keep Dust 514 on the go, but I am going to start playing this a fair bit more because I do like it. There's something very fun about this game. I would also stress that it's very newbie friendly. Don't fear that you've missed the boat and you know, whatever. I would say come in, give it a go, and you will be fighting people at the same level of you generally all the time. So don't worry about that. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll certainly do some more of these. We'll see you next time.